Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
You've met him before. He's from Guyana. He has a skill of taking the folklore and bringing it alive. But the man likes rock music, you know, he truly does. And so this morning he's back because he was here for the Bridgetown International Arts Festival that concluded last weekend. And what a response indeed. And so we had to have him back, and he's brought along a friend with him in Chucky. They're going to perform for us, and let's remind you of the greatness of Gavin and Chucky.
All I want is a long and strong is too much of me. Long and strong is eternally. Oh, Captain, put me ashore. I don't want to go anymore. Eternally gon' frighten me. Eternally gon' drown in me. Eternally gon' walk me belly. Eternally are too much of me. Oh, eternally, oh. Eternally, yo. Eternally. Hey, Chucky! Oh, one morning the captain wakey, boat on, wakey, bowman, wake with a bottle in the hand. Hey, all I want is a long and strong is too much of me. Long and strong is eternally, oh. And she said, Captain, put me ashore. I don't want to go anymore. Eternally gon' frighten me. Eternally gon' drown in me. Eternally gon' walk me belly. Eternally are too much of me. Oh, eternally, oh. Eternally, oh. Eternally, oh. Eternally, oh. Eternally, oh.
Oh my gospel. Sweet for days indeed. Oh, I tell you what, I need to catch a breath, and we'll come right back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
You felt it too? I felt it. Gavin and Chucky. They're in from Guyana. They were here for the Bridgetown International Arts Festival, and they're here with us this morning on Barbados, Morning Barbados indeed. Itanimi, well, you just heard, everything gonna be all right. Here they are again, Gavin and Chucky.
Wake up every morning with the sun in my face, stretching out and yawning. Just like the folk and my neighbor friends, don't need to be bawling. Just take your sweet time and go through the day, no matter what morning. Always wake up with a big smile and say, everything's gonna be alright now. Everything's gonna be alright now. Everything is gonna be alright now. Everything is gonna be alright. I know you might laugh still and forget to take out the bin, or sometimes you're falling and you feel like you can't get up, but don't worry yourself. Rise up, grab off your boomsy. Some people might laugh at you, that's alright. You should be laughing to sing. Everything's gonna be alright now. Everything's gonna be alright now. Everything is gonna be alright now. Everything is gonna be alright now. They gonna be alright now. They gonna be alright now. They gonna be alright now. Tell them, Chucky! up every morning with the sun in my face, stretching out and yawning. Just like the folk, I call my neighbor friends, no need to be ballin'. Just take your sweet time and go through the day, no matter what morning. Always wake up with a big smile and say, I know you might lapse lil, and forget to take out the bin, or sometimes you're falling and you feel like you can't get up. But don't worry yourself, rise up, rub off your boogie. Some people might laugh at you, that's alright, you should be laughing to sing. Everything's gonna be alright now. Everything is gonna be alright now. It's gonna be alright now. It's gonna be alright now. It's gonna be alright now. Yeah.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Something told me that you were exactly as I was. Moving just now to those two performances from Gavin Mendonca and Chucky. They're in from Guyana. They are folklorists, really and truly, and they tell the story of a time in Guyana. Itunami and everything gonna be alright is just what we just heard. And so, Gavin, good morning to you. Good to see you again.
Morning Barbados.
Wow, Chucky, the man on the drums, indeed. I'm glad you brought along Chucky. A different dimension.
Sure.
Is it that you travel together all the time?
This is actually our first international gig together. But we've been playing music for the last 8 years together.
I can imagine rehearsals.
Oh, yeah.
It must be a job.
For sure, yeah.
Wow. And so, Gavin, you're back. I know the last time you were here, we introduced you to Barbados, and the response was phenomenal. And how was it for you this last weekend performing with the Bridgetown International Arts Festival?
It was amazing. Yeah, thanks very much to the Bridgetown International Arts Festival for having us, and the kindness of our Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport, and Courtesy Garage here in Barbados for supporting us on this journey.
How important it is for you to have this journey, though, where you take your expression to the world?
It is very important. You know, as young people and as cultural practitioners in modern day society, we think it's very important to remind ourselves constantly on the importance of identity and authenticity. So our main goal is to contribute to the preservation of Guyanese folk music and culture through song, which we've been able to do, I believe, successfully. So now to be able to bring it together outside of Guyana, around the Caribbean, that's our dreams, and around the world, this is the very first stepping stone on a very bright future.
He tells me he doesn't talk a lot about Chucky talking, which is good. Chucky, how long have you now been beating the drum?
I've playing from since about 30 years now.
Yeah, since you were a little boy. All right, but your drum is a little different from the drum I'm accustomed to seeing.
This is Guyanese drum. This is pipe, PC pipe.
Oh, that's interesting.
This is pipe and this is drum set scale.
And that gives it the sound.
I tune it and I build it myself.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you're really into culture.
Yeah.
In a very big way. And so, Chucky, Gavin, you teamed up with a really good guy here in Chucky, indeed. And so, while you were here, I'm told that you had the chance to meet one of our cultural icons, the most honorable Anthony Gabby Carter. What was that like?
Well, we've known the Mighty Gabby for quite some time. We are part of something called the Rupununi Music and Arts Festival in Guyana. That's where we actually met for the first time in 2015, and it's in the Rupununi savannas of Guyana, far away from civilization as we know it, but just beautiful, pristine. And Mighty Gabby was there in 2015 and again in 2017. So we've actually had the pleasure and privilege of performing with the Mighty Gabby. Yeah.
No, for us,
That must have been quite a
He's a
thrill.
dear
How
friend
was
of
it?
ours.
Yeah,
We love him.
just so good.
And he's also quite good on the guitar as well. We're watching our screens and we're seeing the picture of him playing his guitar, you doing yours.
I was doing some research there because he was sharing all of his knowledge on the history of calypso music, and because as a folklorist, I'm really interested in not just Guyanese folk music but Caribbean folk music. So it was a wealth of knowledge to gain.
And so what did you learn?
You learned having had that interaction with Gabby.
You know, just from a writing perspective, writing techniques in calypso music, you know, the way it's kind of like a Caribbean version of jazz, and the improvisations and the creativity involved. So again, it was just picking his brain to just learn, you know, as much as I could.
Well, I'm sure you learned a lot indeed. Chucky, what about you though? What kind of exposure have you had in terms? Did you teach yourself first of all to drum, or were you taught to drum?
I grew up in a spiritual home, and I see my mother normally do spiritual work. I should normally booking musician. I grew up seeing playing, but nobody never teach me.
Right.
I teach myself. She built a drum for me, and I start play by Sabbath school and churches and so.
You were
Made for this, boy. I could see it the way you play. The hair gets in the way. It doesn't matter. He was just made to play the drum. And so beating the drum for you is a message.
It's a message. Mm-hmm. It's a spiritual message to me and to all of us, of black people and nation. Yeah.
I see it in your body as you move indeed. And so Gavin, together now and taking this into, you've created your own music. I mean, you've got your own recordings and everything as well. Being able to go into different spaces to perform, how easy or challenging has it been for you to be able to do so?
Well, I've been able to do it solo for the past 4 years. I've represented Guyana on many cultural platforms: Dubai Expo, Beijing Expo, Ethno USA, Folk Alliance International in the US. So it is challenging. The arts is always, here in the Caribbean, it's always hard to get certain support and that kind of stuff. But we've been, as we say in Guyana, we chop we own bush. Right?
You carve your own way.
It's jungle, and we need to get to the other side. We will go through it, and we're helped by others, and we help others as well. So there are many persons before us, like Ezzy Rockcliffe and Yoruba singers, and Uncle Dio and Bob, who help us to do things. And we believe it's our responsibility to push through with the mission and also to continue carving the path for those who will come after us. But to be here again, it as hard as it is, it feels like just beating with drum and we magically appear because the music drives us.
And the
music pulls us into you as well. And so your thing is to capture the folklore of Guyana, to be able to tell in song those stories. The one you first said, Itanami, the phrasing is wrong here, said. Itanami. What did that mean? What does that mean?
So I learned a lot of folk songs because of joining up with Chucky. Chucky runs the Buxton Fusion School of Music in Buxton. And I had just gotten interested in 2015 in being, like I said earlier, a rock musician, but a Guyanese rock musician. So when I met Chucky and we started playing like this together, very different from my rock band, he would start teaching me songs and the rhythms, and we found a book of Guyanese folk songs and we started learning it. So it has been an adventure, a musical adventure, to learn our folk songs and to sing them, and we're just happy to do it. So now we're recording them all in a series of albums.
Wonderful. Chucky, you brought him in. You brought him into it.
Into it. See the full song.
And I have a drum in school, but I get taught something to teach them. Drumming, folk song. I did come together meaning, build it more strong.
Yes.
Then Uncle Dio, and then he said, Bob, these two poets will bring it in close and get it more strong.
Right.
Have you ever thought, Chucky, of taking your skill and your teaching ability to other spaces in the Caribbean to teach them what you do?
Because I will. As Gavin said, the back end and the front end. If any space we get, we're glad to do it.
I am telling you, because we do have lots of cultural groups
here on the island who do drums as well, but I've never heard this one, the PVC pipe, which sounds really, really good. And so I think the opportunity should be given to you to be able to interact with them, to show them what you do so that we can learn from each other in the different ways that you communicate using the drum. Because it's a channel of communication. It truly is a message. And so, Gavin, again, your albums, let's talk about it because I want people to get it and to get hold of your music. What are the albums and where can we get it?
So you asked me what was Itanami. So Itanami is the first song on our first album together. It's a folk song. Guyana is called the land of many waters. It's an indigenous word meaning land of many waters. So Itanami is about a song. Itanami itself are these rapids in the jungles. And for these folks to get to work every day, they're miners, they go hunting for gold. They need to traverse these rapids in their canoe. So the song is about it being very rough and, but still having to do it. And that's the strength of our people. So we released our first album, Folk It Up, Volume 1, back in 2019. It's a collection of Guyanese folk songs. And then we continued last year. We released Folk It Up Volume 2. Again, more folk songs. And then we started including originals, like Everything Gonna Be Alright is a song we wrote together during the pandemic. Yeah. And now, just in a couple of weeks, we were about to head into the Iwakrama rainforest to record Folk It Up Volume 3 live in the rainforest. Wow. So when people listen to... Right, so see, we're very passionate about who we are and what we do. So when people listen to this next album, they must feel as though they are in Guyana, in the rainforest, hearing the birds. And of course, thank you to Iwakrama for having us there. And we love Guyana, so we also want to promote Guyana, to promote the Rupununi. So you guys come to Guyana, come and visit Iwakrama, come and visit the Canopy Walkway, come and visit Rockview Lodge, come and visit Manari Ranch, come to the Rupununi and let Gavin and Chucky show you around. Yeah.
I'm sold.
Sold already. I am really sold. Come, we going to Guyana. We going indeed. And so the albums are available online. Can we?
Yeah. If you go to creolerock.com, you'll find links to all of our previous releases, all our music videos during the pandemic. We took things under our own initiative and we created a series of live performances in remote locations around Guyana. Again, to do something. Yeah. And yeah, thanks to CBC for showing these videos on around the Caribbean. For us, that's a huge milestone and accomplishment to have our work shown around the Caribbean. So CBC, thank you a lot for doing that.
You're very welcome.
I mean, Guyana has some iconic scenes, indeed, you know, from the Kaicher Falls, so just the wetlands everywhere. And so we want people to really go on to, again, the website is
rock.com.
creolerock.com and get the music and come soon to Guyana. As Gavin has been inviting all of you to really get into Guyana, to get in there to the spaces and get the true authentic feel of the Guyana cultural art form indeed. And so Chucky, you're excited about this new project, right? Yeah. And because somehow going into the forest, into the space, to hear the birds chirp and everything else, that must be really magic for you.
It's a blowing, you know, it's a different experience altogether. Because it'll be live. We went there already, it'll be live this time, you know. It'll be more amazing.
It's going to be sweet. Gavin, Mendonca,
and Chucky in from Guyana.
They're truly
thrilling indeed. So don't forget, go to the website and get the music indeed and support these gentlemen. And as soon as possible, get to Guyana and experience all that they've been talking about. Thank you, gentlemen. All the best indeed.
Thanks for having us.
You're welcome. We're going to take a break here. We're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Want to give them the time. Thank you all for joining us here again tomorrow. Gavin and Chucky.
Such a sweet name to me, to me. Rupununi, such a sweet name to me. Rupununi, such a sweet place to be. A sea of green, sweet scenery. Majestic sky overlook the mountains. When it comes to being youthful, well, this is the fountain. Rupununi, such a sweet name to me, to me. Rupununi, such a sweet name to me. Oh, the silence of the savannah could grow so loud. A rich history to make we are proud.